Do you know the man who discovered Machu Picchu got its entire purpose completely wrong, and the whole world believed his mistake for the next 50 years? This is a story about one of the most photographed places on Earth, and a mystery that, even after over a century of study, has never actually been solved. High in the Peruvian Andes, at nearly 8,000 feet above sea level, sits Machu Picchu, a breathtaking Inca citadel built sometime in the mid-1400s. On July 24, 1911, American explorer Hiram Bingham, guided by local farmers who already knew the site existed, brought it to the attention of the outside world for the very first time. Bingham was certain he'd found something specific. He believed Machu Picchu was Vilcabamba, the legendary lost capital where the final Inca rulers made their desperate last stand against Spanish conquistadors. It made for a thrilling story, one that helped make Bingham, and Machu Picchu, world famous almost overnight. There was just one problem. He was wrong. Decades later, researchers definitively identified the real Vilcabamba at a completely different location, deep in the jungle. Machu Picchu had never been a final refuge at all. So if that theory was false, what was this place actually built for? Bingham had a backup theory too, one that stuck around even longer than his first mistake. He proposed Machu Picchu was a sacred convent, home to the Virgins of the Sun, young women dedicated to serving Inca religious and royal life. His evidence: of the human remains he uncovered, he claimed nearly 75% were female. For decades, this became the accepted story, published in textbooks, repeated by tour guides, embedded into the site's entire popular mythology. Then, in the early 2000s, forensic anthropologists finally re-examined those same skeletal remains using modern scientific methods. The real ratio wasn't 75% female. It was almost exactly 50-50, men and women, buried side by side. Bingham's foundational theory, the one that shaped how the entire world understood Machu Picchu for half a century, was built on a measurement that was simply, provably wrong. And once that assumption collapsed, researchers had to start almost completely from scratch. Since then, competing theories have piled up, each with real evidence, none of them fully conclusive. Some researchers point to the Intihuatana stone, a carved granite pillar precisely aligned with the sun during key solar events, arguing Machu Picchu functioned primarily as an astronomical observatory, tracking celestial cycles to guide planting and harvest seasons. Others focus on a 16th-century Spanish document referencing a royal estate called Picchu, concluding it was likely a private retreat built for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti, his family, and his royal court, a place to relax, host guests, and escape the pressures of ruling an empire. Still others point to its extensive agricultural terracing and argue it may have partly functioned as an experimental farming site, testing crops at different altitudes across the mountainside. And some scholars believe it was never just one thing at all, but a genuine blend, part royal retreat, part religious sanctuary, part working observatory, all built into a single, deliberately breathtaking location. Here's the frustrating truth researchers still can't get around. The Inca had no written language, only an oral tradition and a knotted cord recording system called quipu that modern scholars still can't fully decode. Which means the one group of people who actually knew Machu Picchu's true purpose, never left behind a single written word to tell us. Over a century after its rediscovery, one of the most visited archaeological sites on the planet is still keeping its original purpose, completely to itself.